Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the 25th Annual Public Safety Luncheon and Appreciation event. The truth of the matter is this, is that when public safety is strong, our community thrives. When it's not, nothing else matters. That is the truth that this event is centered on. An event that we are doing in collaboration with Justice Beyond the Courtroom, a nonprofit that elevates public safety matters, that enhances the voices of victims, that ensures that the justice system is fair while strengthening the bonds between communities and our justice partners. Today, we are here to recognize some of our public safety partners. The law enforcement officers, the firefighters, the first responder, and their families who share in that sacrifice. And we also recognize our educators, our nonprofit providers, our business and community leaders. But today isn't just about recognition, it's about partnership. And today's theme is advocacy and advancing justice through partnership. So as I mentioned earlier, this is the 25th annual event. It was started by longtime District Attorney Jan Scully. She started it, and today we are going to start with the presentation of the colors by the Mutual Color Guard, comprised of local law enforcement members and public agencies. And I would ask that those in the middle please move to the side as we begin the ceremony. And I would ask that everyone stand up as well and remove their hat.
Detail, attention, port, arm, forward, march. Detail, halt, post. Post colors.
So please,
Present arms.
So please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to invite Deputy District Attorney Kate Martin, who will be singing our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Order, arm. Ready, face.
Please be seated. Thank you. Now, I'd like to take a moment to recognize many of the community leaders that are here today, their representatives. There are the chiefs of the major law enforcement agencies within our county and our region. We have educators and school administrators. We have business and professional leaders, advocates and grassroots community members, those that are dedicated to public safety and to serving the community. And I want to particularly recognize several elected officials that are here today, starting with my good friend, the chairman of the Wilton Rancheria tribe, Jesus Tarango. Assemblymember Stephanie Nguyen, Assemblymember Joe Patterson, Sacramento County Sheriff Jim Cooper, the best sheriff in the country, Sacramento Board of Supervisor Pat Hume, Rosario Rodriguez, Patrick Kennedy, also the representative for Supervisor Rich Desmond as well. From the city of Sacramento, the mayor, Kevin McCarty. Sac City Council member Lisa Kaplan. Citrus Heights Mayor Jana Karpinski-Koska. Citrus Heights Council member Mary Jane Lopez Taft. Citrus Heights Council member Portia Middleton. The mayor of the city of Elk Grove, my friend Mayor Bobby Singh Allen, or BSA. City of Elk Grove Council member Darren Sewin. City of Elk Grove Council member Rod Brewer. And last but not least, City of West Sacramento Council member Martha Guerrero. If I've missed any other elected officials, please let me know. Now, this event would not be possible without our sponsors. And our sponsors allow us to hold this event and to be able to really serve our community through justice beyond the courtroom. So our premier sponsors are the Wilton Rancheria tribe, a federally recognized tribe with an enduring connection to our community, our land, and a deep commitment to cultural preservation. Thank you. Also, Security US, a company dedicated to providing innovative security solutions and advancing public safety in the area. Thank you for our premier sponsor. Along with another premier sponsor, the NorCal Carpenters Union, for representing skilled tradespeople who build and strengthen the foundation of our community. Thank you so much. Our champion sponsors, the Sacramento Credit Union, committed to supporting the financial well-being of our community, and a longtime sponsor. Thank you. I'd like to recognize another champion sponsor, the Plumbers and Pipefitters Local 447, representing the skilled workforce that keeps our region growing and have been a sponsor for many years. My friend, thank you so much. To the Sacramento County Deputy Sheriff's Association, they stand behind the men and women who serve and protect our community. Thank you for your support as well. And finally, I'd like to extend our sincere thank you and gratitude towards our guardian and advocate sponsors, all of whom will be recognized in the program and in the PowerPoint presentation. At this time, I would like to invite our senior chaplain, Deborah Fontes, of the Law Enforcement Chaplaincy of Sacramento, to lead us today in our invocation and a moment of silence in memory of our recently fallen officers and firefighters. The chaplaincy provides both spiritual and emotional support.
Good morning, everyone. Would you please join me in a moment of prayer? Gracious Father, we thank you for gathering us here today in fellowship and gratitude. We are especially mindful of the men and women who serve in public safety, those who protect, rescue, and respond in moments of greatest need. Their dedication and sacrifice reminds us daily of the strength of community and the power of service. We pray for strength to continue the work of building safer, stronger communities together. We ask for your protection over our first responders and all who stand ready in times of crisis. Grant them wisdom, courage, and peace as they carry out their calling. May this time together be of encouragement, connection, and renewed commitment to the values that bind us: service, honor, and care for one another. In this we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I would like to invite us all now to, again, we're going to honor those that are no longer with us, our fallen officers and firefighters who have passed away, with a moment of silence, and we can please begin that honor now. Thank you.
At this time, I would like to invite the chairman of the Wilton Rancheria, Chairman Jesus Tarango, to the stage for a blessing before we begin lunch.
Kuchi Yema, Kanio Yaset, Jesus Tarango, Tribal Chairman of Wilton Rancheria. And I want to take this time just to acknowledge what you've already witnessed here today. And it's something that we try to say in our community all the time, and that we have so much more in common than different in how we start programs, how we start things. It's typically with prayer. It's typically with acknowledging the people who serve community. And that's what you've seen here today. And so for those who were part of that, I tangi komu for me and my people in what you do. And today I was asked to give a blessing to kind of start this off, but we're already starting, right? And so it feels good for me to come and bring my voice and our people to this table as well. But today's blessing is going to be for everybody here in this room, but it's for you, but it's for your families as well. And so in the work that we do, I know that I wouldn't be able to do the work that I'm able to do if I didn't have a strong home, if I didn't have something to go home to, somebody to support me. And so today, this blessing for me is going to your families so that they can continue to give you the strength to do the jobs that you guys do for us every single day. And so with that, I'm going to share a song in how I grew up in my culture. My grandpa always taught us that our songs and our prayers, those are blessings. And so for that, I'm going to offer a song to you and for us here today so that we can enjoy a meal and hopefully have some good conversations. But again, today, on behalf of Wilton Rancheria, the only federally recognized tribe in Sacramento County, my people welcome you and will take care of you while you're here. Yo. Hey, hey, manna, hama, hama, neyet, choeyata, chokan, neyet, choeyata, chokan, neyet, choeyata, chokan, neyet, choeyatam, hiye mi yahna. Hey, hey, manna, hama, hama, neyet, choeyata, chokan, neyet, choeyata, chokan, neyet, choeyata, chokan, neyet, choeyata, hiye mi yana, hey, hey, mana, hama, hama, ne, yet, 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 yo, yo, yo. Thank you.
So with that, lunch should be served, and please enjoy it. We'll return a little bit with a video and a panel discussion. Thank you so much. So this year, our theme is Across Counties, One Cause, Advancing Justice Through Partnership. And it speaks to the strength that we find in working together, not just in Sacramento, not just with one or two agencies, but across the entire region. From our Human Trafficking Task Force to our Proposition 36 Roundtable to our SAC Force, our fentanyl response team, we are crossing county lines and regions to share resources, combine expertise, and confront our most urgent regional challenges. Today, I'm particularly proud to highlight the work of SAC Force, which just kicked off their Folsom Blues 3 operation. This is a focused enforcement and prosecution of fentanyl, cartels, mid-level and street dealers, along with high-volume fentanyl seizures that has resulted in significant decrease in the numbers of fentanyl deaths and murders in Sacramento County. Proposition 36 increased public access to Narcan and greater public awareness and gave us the tools to go after fentanyl dealers. Now here's a quick snapshot of Sacramento data from our coroner regarding the numbers of fentanyl-related deaths in Sacramento County. In 2022, we had fentanyl deaths at 234. In 2023, fentanyl deaths skyrocketed by 75% to 408. In 2023, after I was elected, we started the SAC Force program to go after the fentanyl dealers for murder. In 2024, the number of fentanyl deaths decreased to 278, a 31% reduction from 408. And right now, as of August of 2025, fentanyl deaths are at 123. That's a 55% reduction. And we believe that at the current rate, we will have a 42% reduction. Now, 123 overdose deaths are still too many, but there's hope. With the percentage of call-outs significantly reduced, the ability to respond quickly is much higher than it has ever been. And with the SAC Force Task Force, we have been working in collaboration with Folsom Police Department, with the DEA, and with the Sacramento Sheriff's Department, and we hope to expand that regionally as well. And here's a little video followed by a panel discussion we're going to have in regards to another program that we are doing that is the first of its kind in the entire country. So let's play the video, please.
I hear the train a-coming. It's rolling around the bend.
Last month, the Folsom Police Department led an operation that brought over 150 law enforcement personnel from 24 state, local, and federal agencies together to focus on fentanyl and drug enforcement.
This operation represents a significant victory in our fight against fentanyl. These coordinated sting operations allow us to identify, arrest, and prosecute a significant number of dealers who are selling fentanyl and other dangerous drugs in our region.
When I was just a baby.
Deemed Operation Folsom Blues, it involved a top-down approach to drug enforcement, targeting high-level dealers to street-level users.
Don't ever play with guns.
My office will continue to participate in these regional sting operations through SAC Force and our major narcotics unit to stop the flow of drugs into our community.
The operation resulted in the seizure of multiple pounds of illegal drugs, including over 100,000 lethal doses of fentanyl.
It's rolling around the bend.
The amount of fentanyl seized by law enforcement will undoubtedly save countless lives. I remain committed to prosecuting those who profit from selling deadly fentanyl and charge them with murder if it results in someone's death.
I am pleased with the work done by the district attorneys and law enforcement personnel who participated in this operation, and I'm very proud of the Folsom Police Department Special Investigations Unit for collaborating and coordinating this massive undertaking.
Along with many of the agencies in this room, we're going to begin Folsom Blues 3 operation later today. In fact, I think it was started yesterday, and we're going to continue the operation as well. But at this time, I would like to announce, and we have done this before, and bring two amazing partners up to the stage for our panel discussion in regards to our task force on missing, murdered, and indigenous person. I'd like to invite the Wilton Rancheria Chairman Jesus Tarango and Sacramento County Sheriff Jim Cooper to join us for today's panel discussion up here. So you know what, let's move up a little bit. We'll kind of be on the edge. We'll be on the edge a little bit. Hopefully there's no workers' comp claim today. So this is a partnership between the district attorney's office, the sheriff's office, and the Wilton Rancheria. It's historic because we've never had a task force to address MMIP with collaboration like this anywhere in the country. But before we get to that, I liked, and I'm going off script a little bit, I'd like, first of all, to start with the chairman to talk a little bit about the Wilton Rancheria and its history to sort of provide a basis, a foundation. Can you talk a little bit about your tribe?
Sure. So my tribe is made up of Miwok Nisenan people. We were first established in 1928. So when the government rounded up the vagrant homeless Indians of Sacramento County and pushed us out to Wilton Rancheria. Government pushed us out to land that wasn't very good or, you know, what they saw suitable for living. So that's where we went. California is one of the states that had the Termination Act. And so in 1958, Congress enacted the California Termination Rancheria Act. And my tribe was one of many tribes who lost our federal recognition. And so we've been, for 50 years, my people were unrecognized by the federal government, which means all ties to my people, whether it be healthcare, education, housing, all those ties went away because they terminated us. But because of a big group of our elders, they fought. My mother being one of those people led a fight for over 25 years to sue the Department of Interior. And in 2009, my people got our federal recognition back. And if you fast forward to today, I tell people my tribe from a government standpoint is within its infancy stages. But we've had a curse and a blessing, I would say, with that, is because we've been able to see things happening in other communities across the board, good and bad. And so when it's our time to be where we are today, we're positioned a little bit better in how we go about things. And my people, there's about our numbers are ever growing. My roles are open, but we have about 1,011 strong citizens of Wilton Rancheria. We are 10 miles southeast of Sacramento, the city of Sacramento. We operate Sky River Casino, which is, if you ask me, I call it that thing. It's that thing over there across the highway. That's not who my people are. That's not what defines me as a Native man. My culture, my traditions define our people, who we are, not that casino. But we respect that and we appreciate that because it allows us to do things in our community and to support our community and make it better. But I would say that Wilton Rancheria is, we're very innovative. We'd like to be the first. Try to be the first in a lot of things, right? Think differently, think outside the box. I think it's more it's too sad, that tribes like ours that are in these positions, take long to get into things. But, our investment with the Sac Republic is an investment into our homelands. And so if there's anything that I would like to leave with you about our people is that, as we often tell people, we don't rent land here. We don't lease land. We come from this land. And we're never going to leave it. And so with that, being stewards of the land, we want to protect it. We want to ensure that it's safe for all people, not just my people. And we also want to bring things to our city so that we could come and celebrate. So sorry, I get a little long-winded, but I would say, again, our people, we're a proud people, and I would say the Sacramento region is our entire homeland.
You know, thank you very much. I was at a federal law enforcement conference up in Tahoe. I've been down in LA as well. And everywhere I go, I always talk about the great work that the Sacramento County Sheriff's Department does, and in particular, who I think is the best sheriff in the country. But Sheriff Cooper, can you kind of give a little background in terms of your agency and just an idea of how large it is and kind of what you do in the scope of it?
Sure. We're obviously the Sheriff's Office, a big agency, about 2,500 employees, 1,500 sworn. A lot going on with just your daily functions, but also while maintaining corrections, 2 jails, the courthouse, work release, we register sex offenders. So just a lot going on. Obviously, Wilton, the tribe is in our area. And I just want to thank DA Tinho for bringing this together. That's so important. And the chairman, you think about Indian country. I've had the opportunity to tour many, many tribes throughout California just to see what they've gone through. And one thing the chairman talks about and other Native Americans are healthcare, education, and taking care of their elders. That's so important to be viable and to give them that resource to do it. And also the community. They do a lot for the Sacramento community, especially Elk Grove, helping out with a lot of issues. So it's really it's a collaboration amongst everybody. And this panel today came about as a collaboration, working together. We saw a problem, recognized it, so we wanted to get out ahead of it.
So a little background about the Sacramento DA's office. We are about 500 employees, almost 190 lawyers in terms of prosecutors. We're the second largest DA's office in Northern California. We're one of 4 that have our own crime lab as well. And so our number one goal is public safety every step of the way. But with that, I want to just ask and present this. You know, how did the MMIP, the Missing, Murdered, and Indigenous People Task Force, come about? And how do you see it serving as a model for the rest of the state and the rest of the country? And I'll begin with the chairman.
Yeah, I'll start with the obvious. Relationships between tribal nations and their local law enforcement haven't always been good. And I think for us, it's something that, you know, you have 2 eyes and 2 ears for a reason. It's what my grandpa said, use them, right? And use your mouth the least. But, you know, watch and listen. And so something for me, you know, seeing that, I think sometimes in education and just having a conversation about what that badge meant 2 generations ago to my people. It wasn't a good thing. You know, people forget the history of the state where when that badge came onto our territories and our properties, you normally took away our children. And so when you talk about a sense of trust, there's not a lot of trust. And tribes, again, you can't categorize us and say, well, in this nation, they do this, and I expect the same nation to do the same thing. We're sovereign nations. There's 109 sovereign nations here in California, which means we govern ourselves all differently. But for something about me and how I grew up, I had this idea and this thing when you collaborate with like-minded people. You know, everything that I said it earlier, we have more in common than different. And so when I look at this, the formation of this and how this came about, it's because I want to use us as an opportunity, a template for other cities, other counties, other tribal nations in that helping combat MMIP. And first of all, just making sure that we're not only talking about it, but we're actually putting some atonement to it. You're putting some work in. And I think that's the commitment for us, is that we're simply using the gifts that we all have. We don't all have the same gifts. We don't all have the same resources. But when we put our gifts in one bucket, in one basket, you know, what can we achieve? And I think for me, that's the most important thing. But again, it's to try to get our tables together. Let's stop talking about why we got here, how we got here. Talk about what we have in common, and that's the safety of all our people.
Sheriff Cooper, so how, in your mind, did the task force sort of come together, and how do you see it serving as a model?
Oh, it came together as a need. You look at the MMIP statewide, and we have cases here in Sacramento also, but across the state, they've gone missing for years, primarily women, Native American women, murdered, missing for long times. The relationship with law enforcement was not great. It just wasn't there. And now trying to go back and really recreate it in the state. And this is a role model for the state and the country on what we did here to try and correct that. You talk about the feather alert, some of the things that have done, the first Native American in the state legislature, Assemblyman James Ramos. So a lot has happened, but still a lot more needs to be done. Sacramento is different. Like I said, we have our cases here, but you go down south, a lot of cases, rural areas in the mountains and stuff, and it's been going on for years, generations. So now we're trying to go back and investigate these cases. And one thing with the tribe, Wilton, they have the resources for Northern California. They're probably one of the biggest. They are the biggest, and to help other tribes too. So it's not just Sacramento. It's a resource for other tribes to really help them and solve some of these cases.
So in terms of missing murdered and indigenous people, women, indigenous women are 10 times more likely to be murdered than the national average. 10 times. That number is simply staggering. And in terms of indigenous First Nation people suffering and becoming victims of violence, it is higher than any other demographic in the country. And oftentimes those cases go unsolved, unaddressed. And so that was sort of the impetus. And, the three of us sat down really and sort of came together with this task force. But with that, Sheriff Cooper, can you sort of, from a law enforcement perspective, describe the structure of the task force and how it works?
So really the structure involves everybody. As the chairman said earlier, we're stronger together. So putting a cold case detective on that and going back and working some of these cases to see what was left unturned. And I'll be honest, some of these cases probably were never investigated like they should have been. So going back, correcting that wrong, and taking a deep dive into these cases and working hand in hand with the DA's office to figure out what the leads are. Obviously, there's evidence that may have never been analyzed. So a lot of resources, we're going to commit to it. And really, we have the expertise. We've got a cold case unit in-house that's been there for quite some time to be able to do the cases. Obviously, with the county agency, we average our share of homicides, so our investigators are very experienced. And just drawing on the resources of the sheriff's office to help investigate these cases and bring some closure to the families that so want that so bad.
So, Mr. Chairman, from the tribe's perspective, what is the structure of the task force and how do you envision it working?
Well, I see our sheriff, being our commander, so to speak, kind of the day-to-day operations of letting us know what's going on. I see your office as the manager, right? You're managing things. And for us, the tribe is there just to give our support and any resources that we have to these cases. And again, it's just bridging the gap. It's bridging the gap, I think, is the most important thing. And then when you walk in, when I tell people that are trying to do business in Indian country, you do better by having other natives go first. Right? We don't trust a lot of people. And some people say you shouldn't do that. Well, we've got to know the history of the people first, right? There's a reason why, but I think that we're also, we want to change. We want to listen. And so again, I think the tribe's here really to support anything that our DA needs or the Sheriff's Department needs. But if you go back to who we are, for us in Indian country, we're stewards of the land. You're stewards of your place. And so for that, it's my obligation to make sure that I'm working with you and our sheriff. So I would say for us, our participation is anything that is needed because it's our obligation as being stewards of the land.
So the Sheriff's Department, they've had their cold case unit for years, and in collaboration between their cold case unit and our office, we were able to solve the East Area Rapist, the Golden State Killer case many years ago, about 7 years ago now, and solve that particular case. And we continue to work using genetic genealogy. So 2 years ago, I started the Cold Case Science and Technology Unit at the DA's office, where we assigned 2 prosecutors to that unit. We assigned an investigator, a victim advocate, and people working on genealogy. And when we came together, the Sheriff's Department, with their vast resources, they're the commander of the task force, Sheriff Cooper is, and they have their investigators. We also supply our attorney in terms of legal advice, and then there's a liaison from the tribe as well, Carrie, who used to be with the Sheriff's Department. And so together we're going through and looking at cold cases in the past to see and triage them, evaluate them, and see what sort of physical evidence remains for our DA crime lab to be able to review. But we're working together here. here. And that's really sort of the focus, the partnership of working together. But in the past, and I want to pose this to the chairman, what sort of systemic barriers and legacy issues have historically prevented jurisdictions from working together, and not just tribes, but across jurisdictions?
I would simply say education. Education to the obligation of the Sheriff's Department. We're a PL 280 state, and so that jurisdiction falls to the sheriffs. But I think the tribes also have a responsibility in that you have to maintain that relationship, or you actually have to engage. And again, I think that's what kind of keeps some of my people and some of these other tribes in the Sheriff's Departments not speaking, is because nobody wants to do the work. You know, you have to humble yourself and come to the table and listen. And I think that's the most important thing in this, and that the families and the victims' families, they just want to be heard, right? But one of the biggest barriers in this is that our cases go unreported. They go unreported because you have the local law enforcement saying, well, it's not my jurisdiction, I don't have to do it. You have the Sheriff's Department that may not even know it's their responsibility, but the tribe may have a crappy relationship with them. And so then who suffers? The people suffer because the people that are in these positions aren't doing what we should be doing and engaging with one another to figure out these issues that we have in our communities. But I would simply say jurisdiction is probably one of the biggest barriers that we have.
And I think we can't underestimate the expertise and experience we have with the DA's office, large DA's office, large sheriff's office, and resources. We have the reps. So a lot of places in Indian country, you have small sheriff's offices that don't have the resources and expertise to investigate these cases. And that's, to me, that's a difference maker here in Sacramento, what we bring to offer. A lot of tribes down in Southern California, Central Valley, but Sacramento is positioned in a unique position to really address these issues.
And I think that's a great point that the sheriff brought up. Sacramento is sort of the gateway, right, to Northern California. There's a lot of tribes up north, the Yurok tribe, that are up there, and they have vast lands. But simply put, the DA's offices and the Sheriff's Department, the law enforcement in those areas, they don't have the expertise and, frankly, the experience of really investigating, prosecuting, and working these cases. And the other issue that, you know, when I sat down and spoke with Chairman Ramos, Assemblymember Ramos, said that the DOJ crime lab, there's like a 6 to 9 month backlog sometimes to go through Cal DOJ to get some forensic work. But in this situation, we have our own crime lab, we have a great Sheriff's Department, we have a great tribe that we're partnering with. And so with that, I want to transition. What, in terms of the task force, do you see that the next steps that we're taking with the task force? And I'll turn that through the sheriff first.
I think the next step, we're ready to go and move forward, Chairman. We want to get funding for the investigator and started going. We've had discussions about that. So that's really first and foremost, get that person on the job and investigating these cases, and then bring the resources of the sheriff's office to help with it. So we're excited, and it's going to be a great partnership between the three of us.
Mr. Chairman?
Yeah, no, and as I look at Kerry, you know, again, we bring our resources to the table, and so again, we're federal, and so we've already gone after a grant that's going to help us pay for this, and so when we say the tribe, and I've even gone to my council and I said, if we don't get this grant, we're still going to be on the hook for this because this is important, and so we've earmarked $500,000 on our own to ensure that we could pay for a detective or the things that we need, but luckily for us, we were able to get some grant money, so the funding's there. And I think we're ready to get going.
That sounds good.
Yeah, the grant money sounds good. So to bring this home, you know, Mr. Chairman, I know that in the past we've talked about, and this is why this is talking about a partnership, not just here locally, but regionally as well. There was a case that you mentioned to me out of Mendocino County, and with all due respect to my colleagues in other parts of the state, sometimes they just don't have the resources, the expertise from law enforcement or the DA's office. But can you share with us a case, perhaps from Indian country, where a family has waited for decades or for years to get justice, to sort of bring it home on a very personal level?
Yeah, I've been involved with our politics for about 10 years now. And every time we have any type of conference or anything around MMIP, you hear the name Khadijah Britton. And Khadijah Britton, is a case out of Mendocino County where I think that this is one of the cases that this task force could definitely go after and at least look into it. There's just too many things that are there in that case. But the thing for me and why we wanted to get involved in this is that year after year after year after year, you have politicians calling on these families to come advocate, to come talk about it. And nothing against politicians, because we have to do what we have to do. But to me, it was almost like you're preying on these victims, but we're not really doing the work. And so how can I impact that as a tribal leader? What can I do with that? And that's to create something that now will listen to the people that are advocating for this, but also tell them that we're going to try to go after that case for you. We're going to do that. And every time I get the chance to talk to Ronnie Hostler, who's Khadijah's grandpa, and I just texted him last night and saying that they may be selected as one of our first cases. He was in tears about that, and I think it's different with us because he knows that the difference between, why do you guys think this is going to work, is because we're actually putting a foot forward. We're not just talking about what we're going to do, we're actually going to follow through with it. And so for that, that's one of those names, and you guys might have heard about that case. We have another case here in Sacramento County. And it's a close relative of mine, was brutally murdered here. And there's some things that hopefully we could look at that one as well. And that's Alan Olvera. That's here in Sac County. And so again, these cases are very close to home to us. But we hope that the biggest thing that we give these victims' families is that we're listening. And it doesn't matter what day, what year, we're not going to stop. At least while we're here, we're going to try to go after them.
And it's not taking over these cases. We don't want to step on anyone's toes. It's coming in, putting a fresh set of eyes on it, experience. Mendocino County, I love the sheriff up there. They don't have a lot of homicides. We have our fair share here in Sacramento, and it's getting those reps in and going over those cold case reports and seeing items that may have been missed. And like I said, not taking over, but helping that agency to maybe turn something over. So that's really what it's about, using the resources that we have here, and obviously Wilton plays a big part in that.
So with that, the key to this is advancing justice through partnerships. And this is what it looks like, and this is what we're going to be doing and continue to do moving forward with the three of us here, but with you in this room as well. So thank you so much, and look forward to making history.
Ooh.
So at this time, I would like to invite Aaron Zeff from Security US to take the stage. He is going to present an award, the Defender of Public Safety Award. So Aaron, would you please come up here and present the award?
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, and men and women in blue. On behalf of HQ Security, it's an honor to present the inaugural HQ Defender of Sacramento Award. This is a first. I also want to, after hearing the chairman speak, let you know that you are also presenting a first in the community with your program. It's recognized by us in our businesses and security solution. And with the sheriff also leading the way, I want to thank you. This community needs leadership, and I think you have a bright future in our community. Thank you. HQ Security is more than just a security team. We're California's first and only approved FAA 107 beyond visual line of sight drone and patrol response solution. We also are the only Axon Fusus SOC in the region in a private company. And finally, we've set ourselves up as a public benefit security corporation. This model and concept merges technology and bodies. Bodies meaning our security officers. I have two of them with us. One's a retired Marine. The other's a local businessman that his story is kind of unique. His neighbor was murdered, and so he decided to go into law enforcement in the capacity he could. We have 4 officers in our security team trying to make it to the next level, meaning applying to Sac PD, Sac Sheriff. I have 2 guys at HSI and 2 guys going to CDCR, even though we're trying to get them to switch to the sheriff or the police department. I told my kids I was giving an award to someone today, and they said, well, who were the runner-ups? I said, kids, there's no points for second place. They said, Dad, that's not what they teach us in school. Be fair and inclusive. So I made them all drop and do 20 push-ups before I fed them. I want to actually acknowledge the runner-ups for this award. We had a few individuals that also showed leadership in public safety. One was Dion Dwyer. Where's Dion? Dion, thank you for what you do with the P-bids. Howard Chan, Howard Chan, what you did on homeless and how you there you are, Howard, set up our community for future success is still to be determined, but we thank you for what you did. And then Sheriff Cooper, what you do every day in the county is felt in the city. I don't know if that's the process, but we thank you for cleaning up the county at a level that is unprecedented. I'd like to roll the video that has an acknowledgement who's receiving the HQ and the inaugural Defender of Sacramento Award. Roll film.
851. Go ahead and disregard the chase. We got him.
At HQ Security, we're modernizing safety solutions to protect communities.
Officer in pursuit.
Our proactive patrols are highly visible deterrents. Equipped with advanced communications and rapid response tools, our officers are trained and ready to manage incidents effectively. We combine our real-time ops center and drone technology with advanced monitoring. Real-time alerts and analytics deliver 24/7 vigilance. HQ is the only security company in the Western U.S. authorized to fly drones beyond visual line of sight. As a California public benefit corporation, we put community safety first. Our team, outfitted with automated external defibrillators and Narcan, also trains in CPR and advanced security protocols, all while building trust with the communities we serve. The results speak for themselves. At one retail center, calls for service dropped 72% in just 7 months. Year over year, Sacramento Police Department crime stats and calls for service at the Tower District are down 50%. HQ Security, modernizing safety, saving resources, and improving quality of life for the communities we serve.
At the Sacramento County District Attorney's Office, public safety is our top priority. We recognize that ensuring public safety requires strong working relationships with our local businesses and organizations, just like HQ Security. Our office is proud to have dedicated community partners who collaborate closely with these organizations to address criminal activity in a more focused and individualized manner. Our office firmly believes that public safety is a shared responsibility, one that takes a united front from the entire community to achieve. It's in the spirit of collaboration that our office is honored to celebrate one of our very own community prosecutors for this year's 2025 HQ Defender of Sacramento Award.
It is my distinct pleasure to announce the winner of the HQ Defender Award. This award goes to Kevin Higgins. Born and raised in Sacramento County, he loves his city with a passion, and it has shown with his work, and it's a distinct honor of mine to award Kevin this great award. Kevin, thank you. Congratulations for all that you've done.
So acknowledge this award wouldn't be possible actually without the collaboration with SAC PD. Captain Highland's out here somewhere. Captain, without you and your team and the interaction that we have, those perps would not be on his intake desk, and this award would not be possible. So thank you to you and SAC PD.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
I wanted to thank all of you here, and God bless you for the hard work that you do. Obviously, we wouldn't be able to do our jobs without you out there on the streets doing your jobs. And also thank you to the community members. This is such a great event to bring together law enforcement and community members. As a community prosecutor, we rely on those relationships to get our jobs done. And I wanted to acknowledge, if I could briefly, Ron Lithicum, my mentor in community prosecution, my fellow community prosecutors. We have an amazing team of prosecutors. Rochelle Beardsley, our bureau chief, who I've worked with for a very long time, and she really allows us to do our job by doing an amazing job herself. And finally, I'd like to thank DA Tin Ho. His leadership on public safety, he understands that everything begins and ends with public safety. None of us can do what we do for our communities, for our families, businesses. All of that relies on strong public safety and partnerships with our community members. So thank you, Tin, for that. It makes a big difference in us doing our jobs. So thank you also to the Sacramento Police Department, who I work very closely with, and to the Downtown Sacramento Partnership, and to Aaron Zeff and his security. He does a great job filling in gaps. But thank you all. This means a great deal to me.
I'm going to do Kevin a favor. I also want to recognize and thank Kevin's wife as well, who's here. So thank you so much for sharing them with us. You know, we've been doing this for 25 years, the Public Safety Luncheon, and for many of those years, we've had a great partner in the Rotary Club of Sacramento. They are an amazing partner. I'd like to invite Rotary President Kerry Wood to come up here to present the Service Above Self Award. Always great to have Rotary here, so thank you so much, Kerry.
Hello, everyone. It is a true honor to be here with you today to present the Rotary Club of Sacramento's Service Above Self Award. Before I present the award, I have a few folks to thank that are here from the Rotary Club of Sacramento over on my right here, but also a couple of individuals who have really spent a lot of time and thought in the selection of this very special person we're about to honor, Mary DeLeo and Dee Johnson. So thank you very much. Well, we really want to hone in on for a moment our thanks to all of you who are in this room, who keep us safe, who put your lives on the line, who do so much for this community. Thank you all very, very much. Now, turning to the award I'm here to present. The motto of the Rotary Club of Sacramento is Service Above Self. And every year it is our joy to present a Service Above Self award and a $1,500 check to a deserving member of law enforcement who goes above and beyond the call of duty to help and serve others, and who exemplifies our motto of Service Above Self. So many of you here today deserve this award, and I can assure you that it was a very difficult decision. I wish we could honor all of you. But today we are pleased to announce that we have selected someone who exemplifies service above self. Police Officer Suzanne Hostetler. Officer Hostetler, please join me on stage. Congratulations. Officer Hostetler's unwavering dedication to others and her tireless commitment to improving our community embody the very essence of the Rotary motto. Her work reflects not just good, but excellence in public safety, and a deep and personal investment in the well-being and success of the people she serves, especially our youth. Choosing to take on the role of Elk Grove Police Department's Explorer Program coordinator voluntarily, as I understand it, and in addition to her normal duties, Officer Hostetler has devoted countless hours of her own time to mentoring and guiding young adults well beyond the scope of her professional responsibilities. She has done this exceptionally well, transforming the program into a launch pad for future leaders. Under her guidance, 8 explorers have been hired by the department as community service officers or officers. 3 have joined other agencies. 1 has graduated from the prestigious West Point Academy, and 5 are serving in the armed forces. These successes are a direct result of a personal commitment to shaping the lives and providing opportunities for growth. According to the person who nominated her, Officer Hostetler's service extends far beyond structured programming. When she learned that a new explorer lacked health insurance, she personally stepped in to help secure coverage, ensuring the young adults access to care and stability. This is just one example of how she consistently recognizes needs, takes action, and changes life for the better. Her acts of service are often unseen, but always deeply felt by those she helps. And so through her compassion, her integrity, and personal sacrifice of time and energy, all while, I believe, raising 3 sons, is that correct? Which is amazing. She gives not because it is required, but because she genuinely cares about people's futures. Her example of service above self is inspiring. She is a shining reminder that true leadership is measured by the positive difference one makes in the lives of others. And so for all these reasons, it is my honor to present Officer Hostetler with the Rotary Club of Sacramento Service Above Self Award. Thank you and congratulations.
So when I saw the agenda, I noted originally about 2 weeks ago that our event was going to end at about 1:30, and I said, no, we're going to end this before 1. And so I want to thank each and every one of you for being here today. I want to thank you for your support and your service to the community. Today's theme is advancing justice through partnership, and I look forward to seeing you again next year. Thank you so much, everybody.